I think I'm good. I'll just speak as a backup, just kind of over here, just in case. In case this doesn't sync.
I thought just giving this to Taylor, just in case as well.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Can we go 3 mics? I want 3. Oh, that's nice. It's like kind of like a tiny little vape.
You feel better?
It's like a vape. Oh, that's nice.
There you go.
All right, we'll mix them all together.
Yeah.
Looking there. Yeah, we are looking.
Yeah. We're just in Glasgow, Igor.
Yeah, we are looking good.
I've got my Tony's chocolate bar.
Yeah.
It was really good. I got that exact same one.
Did
It was lovely. Yeah, that was exactly what I needed.
you get these in Canada?
I don't think so. If I worked hard enough, probably, but I don't know. I'm sure they're at a shop somewhere.
Right, it's good chocolate.
Well, that's the podcast. Thanks for joining us. See you again next week.
That's how you do it.
Sponsored by Tony's Chocolate.
You okay, hon? You're right putting the cider on top of your laptop.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Should we get going?
Nah.
We could just waffle and chat just for a few moments, couldn't we? Just fill a bit of time.
I like the term waffle. We don't get that in Canada. No.
Because waffles are waffles.
Waffles are waffles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of dogs are named Waffles. I know like 3 dogs named Waffle. All lovely dogs.
Yeah.
Popular dog named Waffles.
It's true.
Not any sort of...
There was a TV programme, wasn't there, in England called Waffle? Doggy. Waffle. Yeah.
No?
Waffle doggy.
Oh, what days.
No, you're not
Right.
Now you're already down for copyright. You can't put this on YouTube. It's going to trigger
Enough
it.
of waffles.
I suppose we should kick off by saying welcome to Glasgow. We've gone a bit ad hoc here, haven't we?
Yeah. Decided to record a podcast
On the fly.
on the fly, just makeshift.
Yeah.
We've got an incredible speaker here, which we will introduce very soon.
Yeah.
So,
Igor.
There might be a bit of background noise because we're not in a studio here.
No,
we are
no.
in a hotel reception.
Yeah.
We seem to be rolling though.
Yeah.
We're not sure how the audio is going to work out, but
No.
we're just going to give it a go, aren't we?
We got enough of it. We got like 9 channels of audio running. So
So
like
it's gonna-
3 of them got to be usable.
We're gonna ask the hotel if we can just use their CCTV as
Yeah,
well.
that's good. Just run it through Adobe Podcast AI,
Yeah.
and it'll clean it right up.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking we could just ask ChatGPT to script it for us as well.
Yeah.
And just get I'm sure there's a bot out there that could just read that script out. So we don't even need to be here really.
Yeah, you can
let's
make
just go.
download your presence into AI
But-
too.
Yeah. That sounds good to me.
But
Well-
we are
Another idea.
a podcast for creatives and entrepreneurs.
Just want to like level up their business and be inspired and take some ideas for their creative business.
Indeed.
As we just said, we're in Glasgow. Me and Igor are speaking at a conference this week, not together, like separately as individual businesses,
Yeah.
but we are here.
Big up to Thrive by
Thrive and
Photography
Photography
Farm.
Farm.
Lisa Devlin, we love you. Thank you for bringing this amazing roster of speakers together. And yes, whilst we're here at Thrive, we thought that it would be amazing to just get together.
We're at the halfway point, aren't we?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we've done our Brighton talk and shoot.
Yeah.
Now we are in Glasgow.
indeed.
You been to Glasgow before, Taylor?
No, we did a little tour of the northern Scotland,
Yeah.
but never ended up here.
Yeah.
So
Impressions so far? I mean, we're just literally looking outside. There's a
far,
Couple of
well,
buses.
I'm seeing some
That's the
very,
lady and
very
Vic.
famous
Another speakers.
photographers outside. So
Yeah.
I would say so far the review pretty
incredible
good.
timing. Incredible.
And we are right around the corner from our Uber driver's favorite pub. So
Which is?
Molly Malone, I believe.
Ah.
Sounds kind of like an Irish pub.
Go and
I'll
see
have to
that.
do some research.
Yeah.
I would assume it's a Scottish pub, but
Get on some
I don't
Google
know.
reviews in a bit and see what they
Yeah.
have to say.
So he was very happy. He's like, that hotel. So we'll see him there tonight, I'm sure.
But yeah, if you're here for the first time, welcome.
Yeah,
Would be
do all the
amazing.
clickety things.
Yeah, do all the clickety things. If you could leave us a review, like, share, that would be amazing. And I think that's Spotify.
Yeah, we're just quieting down in the background, please. We're doing a podcast here. Silence.
I was going to say, if I think that Spotify just started adding reviews to their podcast now. So,
Did they?
So try and
That
add
would
your
be
review
nice.
on
That'd be
Spotify.
That would be really lovely, wouldn't it?
Yes.
There are video podcasts on Spotify now, too.
Ah, there we go.
Weird, right?
Yeah. But since we're at Thrive, it just makes sense to really much big up Thrive. By the stage,
Should we just say it's sponsored by Thrive?
Work out the
just say-
details
we
later.
need to check this with Lisa. But yeah.
Let's just say Lisa sponsored this episode.
And one of the things that we wanted to say as well is that by now, hopefully, Thrive 2024 tickets are out.
They are.
So you can very much buy them through the link in the description.
And she's taking it to London.
Yeah, and she's taking it to London.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's going big, and she's definitely not going home. So
No,
yeah.
it's been a great couple of days already. Really looking forward to seeing what Glasgow has got to offer for us. And it feels a bit strange to repeat what we've just done, but it's going to be a whole new audience of people, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
New
Whole different vibe.
I'm hesitant, like, even, I know that not that the audience is all new, but like, just like all the speakers, I'm like, you guys have already seen this, so like, I feel weird doing this talk again.
Yeah, that's
all
it.
the jokes, and it feels just a bit strange. But we're going to be way more polished, I would assume.
Definitely.
Or worse,
hope,
who knows?
You would hope. We'll find out tomorrow, won't we?
Yeah, indeed.
Should we introduce our guest, even though he's already been talking for a little bit, and it feels a bit weird that we introduce him after he's been talking.
I think we've done all the admin, so let's dive in.
This is Steve Jackson.
Yeah.
Steve.
Nice to meet you. I am,
This is not Steve Jackson. This is the incredible Taylor Jackson. Okay.
I have to work really hard. We joke there because I have to work really hard to say Taylor because instinctively I want to say Tim. I want to say Tyler all the time.
No.
And I've already had to apologise to him 3 times just in the last 20 minutes because I'm calling him Tyler.
That's why we go by Steve now.
He didn't punch me in the face, so that's a good thing, right?
Look at
so no, Taylor Jackson is here today with us, and it's been really good to meet you over the last couple of days.
Yeah. If you don't know Taylor Jackson, he is an incredible photographer from Canada, Toronto.
Toronto-ish.
Yeah.
Like an hour away.
Yeah. Incredible YouTuber. I love his YouTube channel. I've been a fan of you for a very, very long time now. And you're on 500,000+ subscribers? Yeah. He says
That's a lot of peeps.
a lot of peeps.
It's a few faces.
Yeah. And we are super excited to bring you to another Idea Pod. Thank you so much for saying yes.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's very convenient since we're in the hotel.
About your cider, by the way.
It's growing on me. It's a lot. It says medium dry, but it's like a very fruity. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I probably won't do it again, but for now,
we won't name.
I'm stuck with it.
But they've
lied. Yeah. Don't.
They've lied.
If you're watching the video, don't look at the.
Yeah. Just get on from what Igor's just said. I think what's really sort of admirable about you and your business setup is just the variety of businesses that you've
100%.
kind of grown and developed. From the outside looking in, it's a really impressive kind of portfolio that you're an established wedding photographer, but you haven't just settled at being a wedding photographer. You've kind of diversified, and obviously one of your talks around Thrive is about diversifying income streams, and it's just really impressive that you've kind of impressive or mad. I can't decide.
One of the two.
I also have like three secret jobs too, so that's where the madness kicks in.
Yeah.
But even yesterday with your talk, you made even me sat there watching it. It made me go, "Oh God, I could probably do that with my business." It just got me thinking outside of the box a little bit, and I suppose we all kind of get into our
comfort zone,
don't we?
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like you're somebody that is happy just settling into a comfort zone.
Yeah, I think I like efficiency, so I think that I'm happy to go into an efficiency zone, so that even if it is kind of a comfort zone and you're kind of shooting the same venues and the same thing every weekend, at least I'm doing it in like a more efficient way. So that, I don't know, allows me to feel excited, I guess, about kind of doing the same-ish thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we kind of all do the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's a bit weird, but yeah.
Amazing. How did you, in this case, break into photography?
I started a long, long time ago with, I guess, snowboard ski content was kind of first.
The police have arrived.
The police? We're shut down already?
The police have actually...
I was going to turn around and ask them to quiet down. I was like,
maybe not.
Probably don't tell the police.
Yeah, well, they're ticketing anyone.
I don't want to mess with the Glaswegian police. Yeah. Of all the police forces to mess with, that would probably be one of the last ones to mess with, wouldn't it?
Man, this is riveting. This podcast episode is so makeshift.
It's going to kick into
it's turning into a drama. Wow.
Like podcasts about outside.
Yeah.
Do you watch that or listen to it? They just do podcasts on the street and they just like street interview.
Oh yeah.
You can hire them to go to your wedding too. So you can hire podcasts but outside to come to your wedding and to sit at your wedding and do like a live commentary on like, and now the bride is walking down the aisle with her father, and the couple will get it. Everyone else will be like, why are these guys here? They need to leave. And they're there all day, like all day. It's not just a ceremony,
kind of dress up,
full reception. They'll wear suits.
Oh, this actually happens.
This is a real thing. They're a podcast that you can hire to just show up to your wedding.
So if anybody would like myself and Igor to attend your wedding anytime in the near future,
we're ready.
Just hit us up.
Yeah.
Give Merla a shot. We could bring Merla as well. She could do some behind the scenes for us. A bit of BTS of the podcast at the wedding.
It's a great market.
Yeah. It's we could really, dominate that in the UK.
Yeah.
But before the police rudely interrupted us, you were saying that you started breaking into photography by shooting snowboard.
Yeah, snowboard content. I snowboarded a lot when I was a kid. In high school, I was probably out like 6 days a week. And I think it's just like really ingrained in ski and snowboard culture that like photography and capturing is like kind of almost part of the sport.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, but no one ever really wants to be the photographer. Everyone wants to be the person doing the stuff. And there's kind of this trade-off where like I'll film one of your runs if you film one of my runs. And I just enjoyed it more sitting by the jumps and the rails and just like photographing and making my friends look cool. I was also in bands at that time, and my band would always be opening for somebody that was much cooler and much more successful than us.
What did you used to play?
I played, I think I played bass around that time. I played a little bit of everything.
Is that because you couldn't play the guitar?
No, I can only do 4 strings. I can't do 5 or 6.
Bridge too far, that is.
Yeah.
Fifth, sixth,
But yeah, I played bass and then started doing some photography, kind of like I would be at the show. So I'd do some concert photos. A lot of those bands ended up hiring me to do their press photos. And then at the time it was like your goal was to get like the MySpace display photo. Like if you hit that, you were like, that was like, ha ha ha, every other photographer in town. These guys like my photo's the best. So that was like always the goal. And then financially the goal was you got a t-shirt usually from the band. And that was it. You never really got payment. Sometimes you get like a bottle of vodka or something. And yeah, so there was a lot of fun in that. It unlocked a lot of unique and interesting experiences, which I think like is still one of the driving forces behind why I do YouTube content. Is because I like just like having the doors open to weird, unusual things that I'm able to do with a camera. I feel like around that time that was definitely happening, but there was no way to make that. I'm sure that there are professional music photographers out there, but it seemed like it was a very small and declining field to get into.
Yeah.
Whereas when you type in what kind of photography jobs make the most money, wedding photography is usually number 1 or number 2. And I was like, that sounds fun. Like I get to, rather than taking photos in these crappy like dingy clubs, I get to like go somewhere that people have actually set up flowers and like are there to have a fun time. And a lot of the elements were the same, that like all the off-camera lighting stuff that I learned at concerts just immediately transferred right to weddings. And it was kind of the same, just capturing real moments in like kind of always changing conditions and photojournalism. And then sometimes you'd have to style something and make people look cool in front of a camera.
Which when you've been working in clubs and then you've been shooting sports scenes as well, you're dealing with low light, fast action. Actually going to a wedding is kind of
it's easy. It's a layout
in the park, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it feels nice. I'm like, wow, you guys actually want me here. Cool, cool. I'm not
and you're going to pay me.
Kicked in the head by like crowd surfers. This is great. So then eventually like all those band people started getting married, and I basically photographed, I was doing like behind the scenes photos at shows, and I would basically just kind of do that behind the scenes style content at their wedding day. And all my first photos of weddings are very much like it basically like it was just a 2-person band, and we would go find an alley and we would shoot it exactly like I'd shoot a band promo, because it's what I knew and it's what they wanted to. And
what would you say the style would have been quite flash based, or natural light, or
I'd say natural light, grungy textures. It was also like cool to actually like layer textures on top of your photos at the time, and like cross processing was like huge for some reason. So there's a little bit of that. Everything's just why is their skin green? Because it's cool. So it's a very, very grungy. But yeah, then things kind of just kept moving from there. In terms of weddings, things got a little bit prettier overall. Started shooting some fancier weddings, which makes your life and your portfolio kind of grow a heck of a lot faster. And then started doing YouTube and just kind of doing some video content and just trying to have fun and get those unique, weird, strange opportunities.
So I think that's a really big lesson, though, isn't it? Like just like always trying to keep things fun and keep it enjoyable. And I think people are always so guilty of, I think we all are a little bit of, having that, like you talking about being that age and taking those images just for fun and for a laugh and enjoying it and enjoying the process. When it then becomes your profession, it's so easy to lose sight of that. And just to hear you kind of talk about like trying these new things because it's exciting, it's fresh. It's like people need to do a bit more of that, don't they?
Experimentation, isn't it? So today,
And also, just quickly, it feels like people have got wind that we're doing a podcast.
yeah,
And
I like the police chatter in the background with like the radio.
Let's challenge the buggers, shall we? Let's throw some things at them. We've had a guy wheeling glass.
A lot of glassware,
yeah. Lots of ambient noise in the background.
yeah. Just come and join us for the ride.
Yeah,
It's
you can see the
okay.
police in the video. So if you don't watch on
yeah,
YouTube,
you can as well.
feel free
Oh man.
Feel free to go and hop along to YouTube.
Yeah,
and watch it. You can watch it all
it's
unfold
all
in the
kicking off in
background.
Glasgow. All kicking off.
Sam,
So, Igor,
Studio Ninja.
yeah, let's talk a little bit about our sponsor. And I was wondering about what we need to say in this little section, because I really want to talk about just how vital it is to my business. And one thing that came up recently was in my own business was that I was thinking about whether I need to get a VA on board. Like, do I need somebody that's going to help me just, perform some of the admin tasks? And when I looked at it and it really boiled down to what do I need somebody on board for, I realised that I don't actually do much admin.
Yeah.
And I don't do much admin purely because of Studio Ninja.
Yeah.
Everything's automated. Yeah, my invoices, my diary, my questionnaires that I send out,
Email templates.
email templates, chasing up invoices. Everything's fully automated to the point where it doesn't take a huge amount of my time anyway. So it kind of defeats the whole point of a VA. So for me, it is a very integral part of my business.
Yeah.
And I think when you're running a business, you're self-employed like we are, being efficient, being productive, making sure that things run in the right order. If you find yourself doing any kind of repeat task, you have to say to yourself, why am I repeating this?
Automate it.
And if you can automate it, then that's it. And that's really where Studio Ninja fits in with me and my business. And they have very kindly given us a discount code, haven't they, for this podcast? So what's that discount code, Igor?
Another idea.
And another idea gets you 50% off your first annual subscription.
Yeah.
So it's just a no-brainer. I mean, I wouldn't even be hanging around. Just go and look at Studio Ninja.
Just go and do it right now.
But thank you very much, guys, for sponsoring this podcast. We love you. We appreciate you. Keep it up.
We love Studio Ninja.
No, I was going to ask, so let's fast forward to today, really. What does your business look like in terms of weddings? How many weddings are you shooting per year? What's your clientele these days, really? What's happening?
I don't know. It's a mix of, I would say weddings are still my very primary business. I do a lot of commercial work. I do a lot of YouTube stuff. It's kind of nice because when you have kind of multiple avenues that are profitable for your business, but you also enjoy that, if you start to get maybe a little bit burnt out on weddings, that you can dial those back a little bit and you can dial the other stuff up and put a little bit more effort into it. I would say this year's a weird year. Next year, I'm like pretty much fully booked. This year, I would say I'm maybe between 30 to 40 weddings for this year. Usually I'm like 60 to 70-ish. So we'll see if, we'll see how things continue.
For a lot of people, that would be full time, wouldn't it? That would be, you have no other time to do anything, let alone maintain the volume of YouTube content that you produce.
The
commercial work that you have commitments with.
Just have a life.
How do you do it?
Just outsourcing, pretty much. I use Imagine for my wedding photography, and then I have a guy that does all my YouTube editing as well as my wedding videos as well. So that's pretty much what it is. That I show up to the wedding day, and that's most of my job. And then when I go home, I meet up with my editor. That's like the back end process. So it's pretty much, it's not completely, I wouldn't say like on autopilot or anything like that, but it's pretty much refined to the point that it can be the most efficient. And also deliver kind of the best quality product.
Do you think that's a part of a business that a lot of photographers struggle with, that kind of outsourcing side of a business? I mean, we all kind of work in the industry, don't we? I think
it's hard. I very much knew from kind of early on in my business that it was going to be a key piece of it, that I didn't want to build a business that I worked 9 to 5 editing, that I intentionally went into wedding photography because it's, you got to work the Saturday, but hopefully your Monday to Wednesday is going to be a little bit more, Monday to Friday is going to be a little bit more free. And I was pretty intentional about that in the beginning, and I hired someone, a physical person that I could meet up with to edit first, and then I tried a few different companies where I'd be just uploading galleries, and then at some point I just kind of found Imagine, and it ended up being more than good enough for what I needed. And now it's like the day after the wedding, I'll have a final gallery and life will be happy. And it doesn't really take a whole lot of time. I try to call the night of the wedding because it's just so much faster. Everything's just so fresh. Wow. So you can do like, pretty much I would say the call takes half of the time, rather than leaving it for like 3 weeks and you forget everything you shot. It just takes a little bit longer to go through things. So that's another kind of efficiency thing.
Yeah.
My weddings are also done at like 10 p.m. So if you're like, I don't know when your weddings end, but my buddy Magic in Poland, his weddings end at like 4 in the morning. So I'm like, I guess you can't really call,
No.
especially when you got to wake up with the
Coming
kids at like 7. But yeah, so that's something that works for me, and that's kind of the most efficient way that I've been able to kind of roll my business.
It's literally the epitome of efficiency, isn't it?
Yeah. Talk that way because your microphone's on that side. There you go.
Yes, sir.
It's a lovely jumper, Igor. Thank you. A lovely jumper. Here, of course. Suits you. That khaki suits you as well, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, it suits you. It compliments your
Big
skin
up to my.
tone.
I got to big up to my wife. It's a nice Christmas present.
She looks after you, doesn't she? That one.
She listens to the pod.
Yeah.
Had one actually mention Fear of God and Essentials, and yeah, there we go.
She made a note, did she?
Yeah, she's a good one. She is a good one.
How's the cider settling in now?
It's better.
Yeah.
It might have also been because I did that chocolate bar like right before opening this, so maybe there was some
aftertones in there.
Yeah, I don't know. Too much sugar. My body was probably rejecting the fact that I'm about to consume more sugar.
So, having built such a prolific YouTube channel, any advice for anyone wanting to start a YouTube channel in 2023?
Help.
Well,
Let me get my notepad.
We're gonna see your journey though, because you're gonna do it. You're gonna get there, and you're gonna get to bring people along with that process, and you're gonna have a better perspective on it than I will, because I started YouTube in like 2007, 2008. So it worked back then to build an audience. I also went through like the entire kind of boom of the digital SLR. So all kinds of people were looking for camera reviews, like thousands of people. Yeah. And then iPhones got so good that like that market just like basically plummeted. That you're not gonna, if you're not a photographer, you're not gonna give your partner.
Just to rewind to that time then, so like you started in what, 2006, do you say?
2007, I think, or 2008, I think my count was made.
I'm fascinated to know what made you say to yourself, I'm going to give this a shot on YouTube?
I just watched it a lot. It was like where I consumed. I didn't really watch a whole lot of TV.
Yeah.
At the time, YouTube was, I would say, at least the content that I consumed was primarily kind of vlog style.
Yeah.
But like vlog style, single camera, let me tell you about my day, no B-roll type stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what YouTube was for a while. And I just kind of enjoyed the platform. Then some people started making some really funny and entertaining stuff. And I thought that, hey, that seems fun. So all my first videos, my first maybe 5 years, were pretty much like comedy-based, some sort of photography content, and trying to like make the two, like slam them together. And yeah, for a long time, that's kind of what it was. And then once I kind of started teaching what I learned over the years in wedding photography, that's when things, I think it became more valuable. I think that maybe there was less views, less interest in serious content, but overall, like I was able to actually like tell people something that would legitimately change their life in some even small way. So I was pretty happy when I started getting feedback that I actually helped somebody start their own business or quit their job or whatever it was. So yeah, I think that was kind of the catalyst that was like, okay, this is kind of right track. And then I think the key to anything is you just do the same thing over and over and over again forever, and eventually you make it. So yeah, it's been a journey. I've definitely seen some kind of like ups and downs with it. Changes for the algorithm, changes with the Canadian government now, kind of like weirdly prioritizing. We have this weird bill that just went through that I think YouTube's gonna have to serve up 30% Canadian content to Canadians watching YouTube, which basically breaks their algorithm, and YouTube's like, you can't, like, this is censorship. So that's another struggle that like every Canadian creator is going to deal with now, which is kind of shitty. But yeah, so we'll see. Things are always changing. Keeps things interesting. If you just knew what the secret formula was every week, you get bored.
Would be doing it as well.
Yeah.
I've just noticed the quality of our video seems to be deteriorating.
I did say you want a natural light. I said that as time will go on.
What I would do is use the LED panel that I've got, but it's the LED panel that's propping up the camera. So
I've got some light.
No, it's fine. Have you got a light?
Oh yeah, we're good.
Oh, it's got a light. Oh, hold on. Oh,
there we go.
Look at us.
Hey. That's.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's just about.
Hey.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's
makeshift.
better than it was. I'm just waiting for the police to come over and tell us to stop recording because they're dealing with a sensitive matter.
We don't know what it is. What do you think it might be?
I don't know.
We'll get a mic on them later. We'll do some street interviews with them.
More than someone's just walked out without a beer, without paying.
Yeah, definitely.
Did I
think
pay?
the police have
I
got
paid.
better
Yeah,
than that.
Great.
Yeah.
We're good.
Anyway, let's crack on. Where are we going for dinner tonight?
We're going to
We're
Wagga's.
going to Waggers, aren't we?
Wagamama's. Have you been to
I've
Wagamama's?
never been. I heard there's noodles.
There's noodles.
Noodles.
Okay.
We've
There's,
talked about this before, haven't we?
there's
Have you had
gyozas.
the udon noodle? Yeah.
No.
We're gonna do the udon noodle for you tonight.
Is udon noodle buckwheat? So I'm allergic to wheat, but I feel like buckwheat is not a thing. I'll have to
maybe
research
it
It's
this.
more like it's made from it's like rice, isn't it?
Is
I
it
think-
the long
I believe
one?
It's the thick noodle.
I'm gonna
In fact-
I'll do some noodle research.
We'll have a chat about noodles
Okay.
later.
In fact, again, I think Zion had it on the pod, bought it, and
Oh,
yeah.
she's a good egg, isn't
yeah,
she? That's
that's it. That's
Has
it.
she got any sisters?
She does. Married too. So no, don't get any ideas.
So yeah, we're going out for Wagamama's. We've got one of the girls. It's her birthday, isn't it, as well today? One of
Jodie.
the speakers, Jodie, who was talking about SEO.
Yeah,
And then tomorrow it's conference day,
yeah.
day 2.
Kicking off. How
Location 2.
for anyone sort of like wanting to start this education business really in terms of wedding photographers, because that's primarily our audience really,
Yeah.
even though we sort of like try to break out from that. Any sort of advice for anyone wanting to start breaking into the education sphere?
I think just start doing it.
Yeah.
And I think it's almost the same as building like your wedding photography business, that you're probably not going to find a whole lot of support. You're not going to find that you're going to attract 20,000 subscribers day one. You have to be able to mentally kind of push through that for the first couple of years, and not rely on that feedback, and know that you are doing something that's good and something that you would like for your future to involve. Because I think in the beginning, I don't know, like I didn't know what I was doing. I wrote a book in 2007 about wedding photography, and I look back on it, I'm like, wow, I was in the business for like 2 years. What qualified me to do
In
this?
2007?
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah, so it's there was like
Wow.
before Instagram, and yeah, so that was I went to WPPI in Las Vegas that year, and I like basically walked around and I gave people my book, and people seemed to enjoy it. That was also when like books were more common of a thing to like be created, and yeah, so I kind of wrote that, and that was just like all of my ideas and all the things that had worked for my business.
Yeah.
I think there is also value in starting it too early, because if you try to start once you're 20 years into your career, you're going to forget all the stuff that you did in the early days, and you're going to forget what it felt like, more importantly. So if you do want to start teaching, I would say
Just do it now.
just like start small, figure out one platform that you like. It doesn't have to be YouTube or podcast. It can be whatever you're feeling, and just kind of start with it and just start rolling.
Yeah, I think as well, like when you're teaching as well, you have to recognise that you're also always still going to be learning. I think the teachers that come across as though they know it all, end of, period, get found out pretty quickly as being a bit arrogant and a bit stuck up. You've kind of just got to come from a place of, look, this is my level of ability, but I'm going to tell you what I know. And there are always people that are on that journey or on that ladder beneath you that want to gain from that experience, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've always found as a byproduct that I didn't really anticipate, like being an educator, is that it does give you this like real sense of like confidence, and you realise that actually you do know some things.
Yeah.
The things that you might just take for granted.
Yeah.
That when you tell people that and they go, oh God, yeah, I'd never have thought of that.
Yeah.
You kind of go, oh right, yeah.
Like
no, people
the
do wanna-
biggest light bulb moment in the past like couple of years for me was like this stupid, I forgot what I was even watching. I think it was somebody's talk at a conference somewhere, and they're doing like a live editing demo, and in Lightroom they just went into library mode and they selected all the images and they bumped the exposure of all of them up, and you can just do a global adjustment. And I'm like, how did I not know that? Like I was doing like syncing everything and
do
develop. Yeah. See? Yeah, but for like when you're using AI, it's like usually the entire gallery comes back, and I think there's profile adjustments now, but it was like, okay, I like exactly what this is, but it's like one stop under, or it's like just a little bit not warm enough, and that like blew my mind. So I think it's important to always be learning and always be open for it.
For everybody out there,
Yeah.
global adjustment.
Yeah, I
Go
didn't
check
think
it out.
I don't think we could encourage people enough to just start exploring the world of education for your industry. I think it's not just helpful for the people that you're going to help. I think it's really helpful for you as an individual as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we've got any more to talk on that point. I feel like we've...
No. I was going to ask, how have you guys found just Thrive in general and what we've been doing in terms of like the shoot
Where's
session?
Lisa? Oh, she's over there.
Where's the sponsorship contract?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been the best. No. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed all of the talks on Monday. I thought were really good. They were very. There was no kind of overlap. Well, there was a little bit of overlap, but there weren't there was no clashing talks. Where everybody brought their own experiences, and then yesterday's shoot I thought was really I was unsure as to how the live shoot was going to go.
Yeah.
Like doing 3 of them over the course of a day. And I haven't tended to do many live shoots as part of my kind of workshops before, so for me it was a new experience. I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we got nice weather too, like 10 out of 10 weather. So I'm a little nervous about what might happen over the next couple of days here for that.
Yeah,
but we'll make it work. It's like a wedding. You gotta get it done. You gotta do the best with what you can.
Yeah,
what you're given.
What I've really admired, because I've been to so many conferences, but what I really admire about Thrive is that people were just hungry to learn, hungry to shoot, sometimes even really, really hungry to get content. And yeah, it's been an amazing shift to see within the industry, really, on how people really want to get a good amount of content within a conference, because usually it's just the education value of it. Whereas now, and Lisa has hit the money on it really, in terms of bringing the style shoot content, just the wedding content in general really, and just bringing it up. right now Sam is holding my aperture mini LED light.
So I met that. Yeah, just so that people can see you, Taylor.
Nice. Thank you.
There you go.
Wow.
Oh, you got it right. Well done.
Taylor,
that's right there. That's
do you know what? I had to
right
work
there.
hard saying it. Did have to really think about that. It's too low there.
Yeah, I've had a great time here. And then one of the massive differences that I'm seeing between European conferences, we kind of talked about this briefly, is that US-based conferences seem to be like incredibly dude heavy. Like it is not uncommon to see a room of like 80-90% like male photographers. And it is very nice to see that completely flipped.
Pretty much flipped.
Yeah.
Here, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that it's I don't know, really cool, and I don't know, allows me to, I guess, think for a slightly different audience than I would normally do. So
is that a conference thing in the States, or is that because that can't surely be reflective of the market? Because I
don't know.
There must there are so many super talented sort of female US photographers.
Yeah, I feel like it's like 50-50.
Yeah.
I don't know, and then I guess for conferences, for just like walking the halls, maybe it's a little closer. But a lot of the events that we'll run are very kind of skewed that way. Maybe that's because YouTube-wise, like if you look at my stat, I don't know about yours, but it's again very like male-dominated for like YouTube metrics. So it might be a reflection of that, and maybe I'm just living in weird dude bubble. But it's definitely a different scene out here, which is really, really cool to see.
Yeah, big up Lisa. Well done.
Yeah. What do you do in your spare time? What do you do when you're not doing your YouTube, your weddings, your commercial work?
Oh, I find other things to work at. Yeah, I'm an LP at a venture fund called Garage Capital. Shout out Garage Capital. I don't know.
He's actually being serious. That's the thing.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. Hang out with the dog. Dogs are nice. I like dogs.
I don't like people that don't like dogs.
Yeah.
I find that weird. You do like dogs, don't you?
I love dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're good then. We're good.
Man,
What questions did you have for Taylor?
I had quite a few.
Did you have questions? Let's go. Come on, let's do some quick fires.
Yeah,
let's do some quick fires.
I've been sort of like ticking them off as we're going through. But we're covering.
Yeah.
I covered most of them in some
Let's
ways.
talk about burnout. Have you experienced burnout, Taylor? Like doing the kind of the volume of work you've done. I mean,
Probably. It's never been like debilitating burnout, so I don't know if I've ever experienced it, because maybe it's different for like everyone what the threshold is. I've definitely gone through periods where it's usually kind of like if I'm doing a 70 wedding season, usually October I'm like pretty ready for it to be over. I don't think that I do a less good job at those weddings. I think I'm very intentional and very conscious of like keep doing the thing. But it's definitely becomes less and less exciting. Like a wedding end of October is a lot less exciting than the first wedding of May. So I think that that's maybe some level of burnout. And then for YouTube content, because YouTube is infinite, that you can invest an infinite amount of time. Like you could put 1,000 hours a week. Math doesn't work out, but you could put it like all of your full-time hours into YouTube, and then you could put another 40 hours more if you wanted to. So I feel like that level of burnout, and also when you're creating content, even though it's not a competition, when you see other people that are doing daily videos, it's like, oh, I have to do that to be successful now. And that type of thing will burn you out pretty quick. So I go in waves, I go in seasons. My winters are typically very heavy YouTube based. So I'll pretty much spend November until May. I completely book off from weddings, and I just do YouTube content. I do like fun commercial projects, and I pretty much only say yes to like things that I legitimately enjoy in doing. And I feel like that kind of allows me to not experience too much burnout. But then in the summer, it's like double or triple wedding weekends a lot of the time. So yeah, by that Sunday, triple Sunday in October, it's hard, but hype yourself up.
From our conversations, what I seem to really gather from you is that what you do for work really, really fills your tank, really fills you up in terms of like creatively, and it's quite admirable to see, really. And just the fact that you were saying that sometimes you go to conferences and you're not even a speaker, you're just attending, and you're recording stuff for your YouTube channel and just engaging with everyone around, and it's just so admirable to see. Drinking all the cider.
You know,
but
they only had 6 of them, to be fair.
they were big bottles though. They were the big bottles
full pints, yeah. But 6 for the entire restaurant.
No, it's just admirable to see someone really pursuing and going and getting the things that really fills their tank, and you can tell from afar and close in that you really enjoy it, and that's great.
Yeah, it's fun. Like that's kind of the YouTube thing, is you can kind of make it whatever you want it to be. So you make it whatever is dumb and fun one week that just like you enjoy, and then you figure out how to also add value to people's lives. Because if you're just doing dumb, fun stuff, you'll also burn out at that. Like at some point you'll be like, I'm so sick of playing this like dumb character or doing whatever it is you're doing. And I feel like, again, like you kind of have to have those seasons of do a couple things like this, do a couple things like that, pull the bits and pieces that work, and kind of iterate and move forward. Yeah,
it's one of the things that I actually did speak on the first day of Thrive, in the sense of that, for anyone that doesn't know Taylor's YouTube channel, go and check it out now. When I watch you on YouTube, I just feel like I know you. I feel like I know you, and you very much put your character across in a non sort of like, you know, when you sort of like watch YouTube sometimes, you might have someone, right, let's go. Always high tempo, and with you, it's like you're just yourself, and I get it straight away. It's not my type of character where it's quite witty, dry sense of humor, introvert, but you put all of that across, and it's you all the way through, and I just love that.
Yeah, it's just authentic Taylor, isn't it?
Yeah. It'd be weird to play a character. I don't know. Yeah, especially when it's like a personal thing. Like if I had to like act in a thing, it would be different, but like to act on like your own personal YouTube channel, especially when you're like in the education space, it's like, it would feel weird. I feel like I would burn out of that if I had to like really fake it and be somebody that I'm not. Or at some point, maybe you become that person that you're faking, which I think does have legitimate possibilities. But yeah, I don't know, just try to not feel like an idiot when I watch my stuff and edit it back at the end of the day.
You don't seem like somebody that takes yourself too seriously.
No. Like it's all fun. And I think we work in a pretty fun space as well, that like, I don't know, wedding photography should be fun. And if it's serious work and you find it like really, really challenging and difficult, it might not be the right thing. But fortunately with a camera, there's lots of different things you can do to make money and to hopefully fulfill yourself in some small way.
Amazing. One of the things that you very much touch upon your your talk is how your business has sort of like evolved into becoming a hybrid shooter, meaning you do video and you do photography all in one day at the same time, which I find just mind-boggling, really. It's incredible to see, really, and we can see the shift within the industry.
Yeah,
really.
you can. Very much so.
But just talk to us a little bit more about that, how that really started for you, really, and how you sort of like combated the whole idea of having to photograph a wedding and shoot video at the same time.
Yeah, at first it was a creative challenge, I think, that I wouldn't say I was burnt out, but I definitely was like 5 or 6 years into my career, and I kind of felt like everything was on loop, and I just wanted to do something a little bit different. So I started shooting kind of 1-minute highlights at wedding days, and then the technology finally caught up that you can actually do like photography pretty quickly and switch to video pretty quickly and be recording. So at that point, I started doing longer highlights as a surprise, but it would never take anything away from my photography. So it was like same gallery I would deliver and then just do video in the kind of in-between moments. And my couple seemed very, very ecstatic with like the whole package together, that my photography they were always happy with. But now with this video that they could sit and watch, they really got to kind of come back to the wedding day. I'm also very intentional of shooting my videos around the couple. So like if the couple's not in this room, I'm probably not going to come in and grab like a bunch of details or grab like candids. That I want the video to be their memory of the day. And if I'm shooting over somebody's shoulder, or one of the partners that's getting married, over their shoulder of like their mom or dad or somebody like that, and I can put them back in that moment, that's a lot stronger than me just like filming stuff that looks cool. So it's pretty much just like all candid coverage and just kind of slammed together. And then eventually it almost kind of replaced my blog posts, that all the blog post photos that would be in there, if there was like 40 photos that I would usually blog, now I just would get those video clips, and that 3-minute highlight would now be kind of that blog post. And couples were very, very, very happy. I noticed that my bookings definitely increased. I think when I started offering it, I think I almost doubled how many weddings I was doing that next year. And then in terms of packages, obviously you're making more money because you're doing another service. And it became very difficult for a couple to talk with me and to have a meeting with me and then go and really talk to any other photographer, because to get the same services, they were probably going to be hiring a photography team and a video team.
Yeah.
So I won a lot of weddings that way. People that were just like, we just like that it's you doing this. My couples are also kind of introverted, and the idea of having 6 cameras pointed at them all day is like an absolute nightmare. So if it's just myself and my second photographer there to do a video, they're happy. So yeah, now like I've seen that over the past, since June of last year, I've been receiving a lot of inquiries to go video first and then do the family photos. So that's like one massive shift. Yeah.
Incredible how it's flipped.
So I don't know if that's like, again, I'm like a weird test case of like one person. So I don't want to say like the industry is changing, photography is dead. But it's definitely something that has value. And I haven't marketed it. It's been couples that have actually reached out and like that they've booked my services for both. And they're like, can you do like primarily the highlight video and then do very limited photography? So I'm delivering like 150 images to them, but then also a much better highlight film. So that's a new thing that people want, I guess.
I think even just away from the point of talking about it being like bringing video into your work, if you look at it as a business decision, like the big thing that I've taken away from you talking in that way is that, you know, you should always be like thinking about what you can do or try in your business that's a bit uncomfortable, isn't it? And you know, so many people we talked about at the start kind of just get into their business, they settle down, they go, right, this is how I do it, this is how I'm always going to do it. And actually there's just a whole new world out there that you
gotta
can
pay
open
attention
up.
to...
You've just got to, if you could just keep evolving and keep trying new little things. And like you could have tried that, you could have tried doing a bit of video and giving it a shot, and it didn't work out, and you put it back on the shelf a few months later, but you've stuck at it, and it's now completely flipped your business in a way.
And it diversifies your skills so much that now it's kind of the same as like concert photography or wedding photography, that you do every genre of photography pretty much within like a wedding day. And same goes for video. So now like if a restaurant wants to hire you for a promo video, it's like no problem. And also I'll shoot some photos for you. And also I'm partnered with a social media management company if you just want us to like take your entire account do that. So there's like all these weird options for you to do once you can do video, because it's obviously for social media. Reels are what businesses have to be creating now if they want to get a little bit more out there. So yeah, those skills definitely transferable to a variety of things that are very profitable.
There'll be a lot of people that are listening to this, or a lot of photographers that are sort of like saying, it just blows my mind, how do you do it? Any sort of like quick tips that you can give people in the sense of if they want to start shooting video as they're photographing a wedding?
Yeah, just literally start. Just like figure out, the settings are easy. I shoot everything in slow motion, so I just change my camera to 60p. So I shoot 60 frames a second. Then I slow everything down to 24 and deliver, I guess, 50p in Europe, and then deliver in 25. Would that be considered cinema, or what's the cinema? What's the frame rate if you want to?
25.
25. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like shoot in slow motion. Basically, the benefit of it is that you get kind of double the time. That if you get that 1 second moment, now it's a 2 second moment. And if you're doing photography and video, you only really need a minute and 30 seconds of usable footage if it's in slow motion to build a 3-minute highlight.
So true.
Yeah.
And yeah, start with the in-between moments and just like have some fun with it. It's great for your personal marketing. You build a promo video. I would say that's like the thing that I've been telling everyone for like years. It's like, please just do it. And when you have video footage from your wedding days to play with photos, I feel like it just makes a much better promotional video for your reels. You now have this content that looks great. So yeah, just start doing it and figure it out. 60p or 50p is my life, and it makes my life much easier. And other than that, I shoot everything the exact same as I would for photography. And
you've just dropped a course on that very
yes, I have.
recently this week, haven't you?
Yeah, or 2 days ago. During Thrive, I scheduled it all out. I'm like, oh, I guess that happens at the exact time.
You see the strategic marketing there?
Yeah, it went up at the time that I was actually speaking, and I bumped it because I was like, that seems stressful in case like everything breaks and I need to solve problems. But yeah, it's pretty much my start to finish process on everything that I'm doing this year, because the last hybrid course I did, I was still on DSLR.
Yeah. So
things have changed. Autofocus exists in video, so yay. My life is so much happier, and my videos are no longer 1/4 out of focus. Although it's kind of smooth skin whenever you're like focused right here and you're like an inch out. It's all right. People look good in it and they're happy about that, but it's definitely out of focus.
We'll drop a link for the audience so they can go and check it out, and just go for it. So you said 2007, right? You wrote a book.
Don't judge us for our picture quality on this.
I think we go black and white.
Merla's going to be like, you've given me a crap video to
bring all the
sorry,
sort of life.
Sorry, Merla.
But you said it was 2007 where you were handing out copies of your first book.
Yeah.
And 2023, you just released a book on wedding photography. Why write another book?
Well, actually, it's so I kind of reached I would consider it to be a plateau. So I think at some point, end of last year, I completed my 1,000th wedding. So I've done 1,000 weddings, or I guess I've done more now. So I figured that was like an interesting time to kind of reflect on some stuff that I've learned. And I feel like from teaching and from talking with you and just like meeting all kinds of people, I feel like I have a pretty good perspective on what's happening in the industry, not only in Canada and US, but also in the UK and kind of around the world. So I thought it would be fun to do that. And then also we used a laundry detergent that I was allergic to. So I wasn't able to record videos for like 3 weeks because I was just like red and puffy. So I was like, what can I do with my time? And then I basically just I just sat down one day and I had a table of contents. It was basically all of my old podcasts. And I'm like, okay, I know like that this needs to go in, this needs to go in, this needs to go in. And I basically just like wrote the text form of a bunch of podcasts I did. So it was nice to, rather than, I don't know, that everything could just be a lot more concise, that I can edit it into kind of what needs to be there. So that was kind of the process, and just sat down and made all my podcast. I basically wrote an audiobook though, which is weird because it's like it exists in print, but it was written as a script essentially to be like an audiobook or like a high impact podcast, I guess. It's fun. I like doing new stuff too. Like even though I'd written a book and published a book before, it's nice to kind of visit that again and understand what I could do now as like a photographer. Like now I see how easy it is if you wanted to self-publish like a really, really nice color hardcover book or even a softcover book, and you can now put like all of your blog posts at the end of the year into a book, and then you can just bring it to all the florists and all the shops, and now you have like
Look at
this
him
nice
giving us great ideas.
Yeah, but like I wouldn't have known that had I not done the book and figure that out. But that'll definitely be something I'll be doing, just to have like that physical thing. Because I guess I forgot how much having like a physical thing like that actually is like a huge credibility indicator. So if you're printing a book and you're bringing it to like the dress shop in your town, or you just like print out all the venues or all the like weddings that you've done at a certain venue, and you can bring them like a nice book with some nice info and also your face in there at some point. It's, I don't know, it's just a huge credibility thing. And it's, I don't know, a unique handout that no other couple's going to get, I don't think, to walk home from like a venue tour with a book.
Today's market, there's just like, we've talked about it already this week, about like just the competitiveness of Instagram now. It's just like, you know, we talked about it a few weeks ago. I just found it just almost like draining now, like the amount of effort you have to put in to try and just make the smallest of ripples.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like everybody's Instagram game is just so sky high that you almost can't do anything now. People just are going to, you know, how do you stand out from that market?
Print your Instagram in a book and bring it around town, I guess.
It's just get creative with it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Think outside the box.
Yeah, that's it. Talking about thinking outside the box, I find that
Carry on.
it's flashing.
It's still recording, but we'll wrap up in a minute.
You got 20% battery left.
I find that you just do so much. Your capacity to create and just be involved in so many different pies is incredible. It's really, really admirable. How do you do it? Is there any sort of like any tips that you have for people in order to kind of like increase their capacity, or how do you find that you are most efficient on your day-to-day life? Any apps or anything like that you use for efficiency?
Yeah, there's a few. Superhuman for email is a great one. If you just need to do templates for like it's so silly that the Gmail app doesn't have templates. And for us, like pretty much having the same conversation like 20 or 30 times a year with couples, to have templates, it's like very, very nice. So that's one. Other than that, I pretty much just hire for like any of my weaknesses or things that I don't want to do. So if I don't want to do a thing, I'll find somebody that wants to do it, and I'll pay them to do it, and I'll fill the time that I've saved with something else that generates income in order to kind of balance and to at least kind of break even on that. I've also discovered that when you hire someone, that they usually have better ideas for your business as a bit of an outsider as well, or a better perspective, or even just like a third-party perspective that you wouldn't have thought about, because we're all in our heads about our businesses all the time, and to have just one person that is, I guess, financially motivated with your success also is kind of nice, that they will come up with ideas and they can execute on those ideas, and it's very cool. So yeah, I think hiring people is a big thing for me, and just doing the things you enjoy, I think is also key, and figuring out ways for them to break even, or ways to do them in maybe a slightly smarter way that they'll at least become marketing assets for you to sell something in the future. In terms of like the videos that we've created, we'll do it for a fun project, knowing that it's going to be something that we can show to a potential client, and eventually get paid off of it, even though we just want to have fun doing the thing in the beginning.
Amazing.
Brilliant. It's been really lovely meeting you this week, and just hearing your story. I'm just like fascinated at the depth of your work and your business. It genuinely makes me kind of go, God, I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
But it's like it's really inspiring. You've already just in your talk this week, you've made me kind of question things that I'm doing in my business, and can I just bring something else to the table? Can I up it? Can I improve it? So thank you very much for coming over to the UK this week.
Yeah, I'm happy that we all connected. This is awesome.
Thrive. It's great. Yeah. Do you want to ask the final question?
I do.
You go for it.
Is it about pizza?
I'm going to eat my tonis.
Or noodles.
I'm going to eat my tonis.
No, we love to finish up the podcast with this question, which is, if you were to meet 14-year-old Taylor Jackson today, knowing what you know today, what sort of advice would you give him?
Such a hard question.
I know.
I feel like, I guess that's why you save it to last. All warmed up. I feel like I would say similar kind of what we talked about today is follow the interesting things and follow opportunities that will unlock unique and interesting experiences. I feel like that's a lot more life beneficial than just trying to chase a paycheck. If I was trying to chase a paycheck, I would actually be photographing kitchens in Toronto right now. That was like the early jobs that paid me the most amount of money. And I very easily could have gone specifically just down that path and like done photography only for contractors, and like that could have been.
I can't imagine that would have creatively fulfilled.
I don't think so. Even doing it, I was like, this is, well, also camera tech was not so good in like 2005, so it was, wide angle lenses were trash. But yeah, it was a bit of a struggle. And I think the same went with weddings, that like you always kind of want to be building your portfolio. So I think that would be another thing, to just like build whatever your dream portfolio is and just like don't ever stop doing it. I think that's what I do in both weddings and setting up styled shoots and coming out here and doing live shoots, as well as on YouTube, that we create the stuff. We built a travel show on kind of our own dime to show to a potential somebody that might sponsor it. And then 2 years later, Nikon came through and I was like, we'd love to do this, but kind of like on a next level and maybe more product focused. And they were on board. And had we not done this travel show and had this proof of concept, there's no way that they would have ever greenlighted it. Yeah. So I think, just keep building that dream portfolio and then never stop. There's like no finish line. It's just like you kind of keep doing. It sounds like depressing, but so hopefully you find something that you enjoy doing, because you get to do it for a very, very, very long time.
You're amazing, man.
Amen to that.
Where
Should we go
can
and get some? Oh yeah, go on then. Yeah, go on, Igor.
Where can people find you?
At the noodle shop later.
Good old Wagamama.
I'm at Taylor Jackson on Instagram, and then my courses site is taylorjacksoncourses.com, and there's a membership that you can get that basically includes everything, which is probably a full year of content for peeps to go through. So if anyone's interested, that's where basically all of my stuff lives. And other than that, it's all on YouTube, the free stuff. Which includes like all the on-camera shooting stuff. So like all the wedding days and everything are all up there on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm in it, so I know it's great. So go and get it, people. So yeah, Taylor, once again, thank you so much. You've been amazing.
Thank you very much. To anybody that's been watching and listening, to anybody that's been watching, we do apologise about the poor video quality. I don't even think I changed the Kelvin on it. We look very orange, dirty orange.
It's artistic.
That's it.
I like the police, the radio. It really adds a nice ambience.
It's genuine, isn't it? It's authentic. So thank you very much. If you've listened, give us a share, shout out, do those review thingies,
clickety things,
and we will see you again sometime soon.
Thank you, fam. Have a good one.
Cheers, Taylor.
Thanks, guys. This was lovely, even though the cider wasn't that lovely.
That went just at the end.